Well, here we are now, almost a quarter of the way through the 2023 NFL season. We're already starting to figure out who are the haves and the many of the have-nots. There are a number of teams right now, whether they want to publicly admit it or not, they're getting it warmed up. They're firing up the tanks. It's about to be tank season, baby. Even if they pretend like it's not. And even in that case, some teams will find a way to even screw that up. But anyways, let's talk about the week that was, week 4 of the 2023 NFL season, which all started on Thursday night. The Lions jumped on the Packers big in the first half at Lambeau in impressive fashion. David Montgomery had 3 touchdown runs. They easily coasted past Green Bay 34-20, and there the Lions sit comfortably in first place in the NFC North. No massive surprise there. Switching over to Sunday and the Sunday morning London game. Oh, the Jaguars had a jolly old time in London. Hip hip cheerio and all that other shit. All those fans there with their British fists. Look it up if you don't know what that means. The Falcons, not so much though, right? Hey, here's an idea. Try throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts maybe once in a while. Nah, you're just going to trot out Desmond Ridder and everything's going to suck. Jags won easily 23-7, and I'm sure the Toy Story version of this game was better than the actual real thing on ESPN+. Switching over to the early Sunday afternoon games, Josh Allen threw for 4 touchdowns, 3 of those to Stephon Diggs. And the Bills dominated. They smashed the Dolphins 48-20. That was a statement victory for Buffalo. They said, bitches, the AFC East still runs through us. Justin Fields started off with a great day and honestly had 4 touchdown throws, went over 300 yards passing. A fucking miracle, right? But then you got to remember, we are talking about, folks, Bears football. You get a fumble that's returned for a touchdown. Then you've got the Bears defense fucking sucks with Eberflush at the helm. Of course, they give up all these fucking points in the second half, and when it gets to nut-cutting time again, Justin Fields throws a bad pick. The Broncos, with their historically bad defense, managed to overcome that to beat the Bears and their historically bad defense. This is now 14 straight games where the Bears defense has surrendered 25 or more points. Or the Bears as a team has surrendered 25 or more points. That's history-making shit. The Broncos win 31-28, but maybe the Bears win by losing. Very possible. Lamar Jackson threw 2 touchdowns to Mark Andrews, ran for a couple of more. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in his first NFL start, was put in a great situation by Stefanski. Let's have him throw like 35, 36 times. It'll get the job done. Ravens coast past the Browns easily 28-3. Derrick Henry had 122 yards on the ground and a touchdown, plus threw for another. The Titans handled the Bengals easily, 27-3, and now Cincy at 1-3 looks really, really bad. Jamar Chase is always open. Don't know if it matters at that point. Puka Nacua had another massive receiving day. The Rams were able to get past a very game and pesky Colts team in overtime, 29-23. If you're a Colts fan, sure that loss sucks a little bit, but you're 2-2. Anthony Richardson is looking like the real deal, and Shane Steichen's got those guys playing really, really well. So it's not all bad there in Indy. Baker Mayfield threw for 3 touchdowns. The Bucs defense shut down Derek Carr, and the Bucs beat the Saints 26-9, sitting now at top the NFC South at 3-1. Jake Elliott connected on a 54-yard field goal in overtime, as the Eagles had to squeak by a very pesky, very game Commanders team, 34-31. A good performance from Sam Howell. Commanders played tough. The Vikings overcame 2 Kirk Cousins interceptions, including an early pick 6, and they beat the Panthers 21-13 for their first win of the year. Now the Panthers and the Bears are the only winless teams in the NFL. The Steelers' offense continues their struggles, and C.J. Stroud continued to impress. It was a total ass-kicking by DeMeco Ryans and that coaching staff of the Houston Texans compared to Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wasn't even close. C.J. Stroud versus Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky. Give me a fucking break. Huge advantage, Texans. Texans owned them 30-6. Justin Herbert wasn't quite at his best, but he did have 2 TD runs and made some big plays late. Helped them get past the Raiders 24-17 in Aiden O'Connell's first start. which of course Josh McDaniels chose post-game to throw him under the bus because Josh McDaniels is a fucking turd. The Cowboys defense made life hell for Mac Jones and the Patriots offense. Blew them out of the water 38-3. And now it's Bill Belichick looking like Bill Washachek at this point. Holy shit. It's going to start getting ugly there in New England a little bit. Goat my ass. Christian McCaffrey had 177 total yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. The 49ers keep rolling. They beat the Arizona Cardinals 35-16. On Sunday night, many of us were dreading it, thought it was going to be a terrible game. It was anything but. Zach Wilson actually showed something. But he couldn't overcome himself. That fumble in the fourth quarter was really costly. And then, of course, he couldn't overcome the refs. We are talking about the Chiefs here. Kansas City holds on with the help of their best friends, 23-20. And then on Monday night, God, that was a bad matchup. Devin Witherspoon had himself a night, though. A couple of sacks and a pick six. Danny Dimes, not so much. Seahawks win easily over Brian Daboll and the Giants, 24-3. God, that was brutally bad. In terms of stars of the week, C.J. Stroud. 16-30, 306 yards and 2 touchdowns. For a rookie to be doing what he's doing right now is pretty incredible. Bobby Slowick, we would welcome you in Chicago next year. Derrick Henry had 122 yards on the ground, a touchdown run, threw for a touchdown. I could put Christian McCaffrey in that spot, certainly. You know, I would give him and Henry that spot for week 4 because they both had big roles to play in their team's victories. A.J. Brown had 9 catches, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. You could also throw Stephon Diggs in there, going over 100 yards with 3 touchdown catches himself. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, Khalil Mack, fucking 6 sacks. Now that's Bears football! Trade him somewhere else in his second year there. He has a fucking massive monster day. The Raiders just couldn't figure out how to stop damn Khalil Mack on Sunday. It's crazy. In terms of winners and losers from week number 4, I'll start off with the winners, the Detroit Lions. It's a big road win in dominant, impressive fashion over the Packers, are 3-1, sitting atop the NFC North. The Buffalo Bills, big statement victory for them against the Dolphins at home. They needed that one. They got it. They kind of reminded the Dolphins that the AFC East rolls through them. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just very quietly now, they handled business easily against the Saints on Sunday. They're sitting at 3-1 in top of the NFC South. A lot of people, such as myself, at the beginning of the year, thought that this team would be the worst team in the division and one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in the league. Now Todd Bowles, through 4 games, looking like a Coach of the Year candidate. Give them their props right now. They deserve it. In terms of losers, Cincinnati Bengals. Like, this is not a team that should be starting 1-3. And it's not because they're getting shredded on defense alone. Like, their defense stinks, and their offense is god-awful atrocious right now. Just unbelievable. The Pittsburgh Steelers, what more can you say? Mike Tomlin, in his stubborn stupidity, refusing to move on from offensive coordinator Matt Canada. I don't know what the fuck the issue is at this point. But the Steelers just got mollywopped in every way in terms of on-field play, in terms of coaching, everything on Sunday. And then the New York Giants on Monday night. Yeah, that was brutal. That was really bad. Here's an idea. If you're going to give your mid-ass quarterback big-time money, you better give him big-time talent to work with, and the Giants just haven't done that. You know, the offensive line stinks. Some of that's due to injury, sure, but that's not all the problems there, I promise you that much. But now we reach my 2-minute drill, and I want to talk about at this point, I feel like you could point to like 6 or 7, maybe 7 teams that you would say at this moment you feel like have some type of shot of going to the Super Bowl. That's it. I feel like those elite teams have started to already separate themselves. In the AFC, to me, that's still the Chiefs. They're the defending champs until somebody knocks them off when it matters. You've got the Bills there, and I throw the Miami Dolphins in with their creativity on offense and what they can do and how they can put up points. That could be dangerous come playoff time. Some fans are going to say, well, what about the Ravens? What about the Titans? At this moment in time, what about them? I ain't buying either one of their passing games when it gets to playoff time, period. So if you ask me right now, the Super Bowl in the AFC goes through the Chiefs, Bills, Dolphins, one of those 3 teams. And then in the NFC, it feels like you have a pretty clear-cut established top 4 there. It's the Eagles, it's the 49ers, it's the Cowboys, it's the Lions. Sorry, Bucs fans, no offense, but I'm not putting you in that category. No way am I saying that yet. You look at this right now, it feels like the Super Bowl representative from the NFC is coming from one of those 4 teams, and it's most likely from either the 49ers or the Cowboys. Yeah, I said it. That Cowboys defense, when they're on, they're fucking frightening. as long as Dak doesn't make the big turnover. But even though the Eagles are the defending champs, and they're the defending NFC champs, I should say, until somebody beats them. Right now, it feels like the 49ers are the team to beat, but we got a lot of season left, and we'll see how injuries play a role and who gets on a roll and who falls apart a little bit. But right now, it's kind of crazy to be 4 weeks in. You can start to get a really good sense of who you feel those elite teams are, those ones that are legit title contenders, and then you got everybody fucking else. They might as well at this point be starting up the tank.